Welcome back to the channel. All right, we're going to cover why tech is the best class, and it's not even close in my opinion, and why it's impossible to say that one tech champion is the absolute best. They are not like the other classes in this game. This isn't Cosmic where it's like, well, you got Deathless Thanos and you got Serpent, or Mutant where it's like, there's Onslaught, or let's say Science where there's Photon, or last but not least, there's Nico Minoru and Mystic. No, this class is literally actually balanced in a way that I think us, the viewers, the players, the summoners, and Kabam can all agree, like, oh, this is a balanced, really powerful class. We're gonna get into this. I'm gonna show you every single champion that I think could reasonably have an argument for being the best, right? I get this question all the time. I do videos on it. I love this class. You've seen me call many of them like, I think this could be the best. And we're gonna go over, I'm gonna show you a single fight from the live server of like what they do, or where you're like, dude, they can also do that. Here we go. We're starting off with Bastion. I've just taken mine to rank 4. I've been pretty high on him, but as the game's progressed since he was a new champion, I was like, this is not just an Onslaught counter. I know I'm showing you Onslaught, but one thing that you may have missed is one, this is the inexorable meta with all of this crazy power gain. It's pretty bonkers, and this is not the sort of power gain that Bastion handles, right? Bastion handles combat power rate, okay? And you can't do anything about the inexorable, but this is a rank 4 Onslaught, and this is just kind of like showing like all the nastiness which it resides within this beautiful, beautiful man. I absolutely love Bastion, and he doesn't even fit my whole like battlegrounds dual threat thing that I'm going on. He's an attacker. I've just done the rank 4 video of like my initial experience with him. I think rank 3 Bastion, I was a rank 3 at that time versus a rank 4 Onslaught, all that crazy power gain. He's not handling ability power rate, 50,000 score. I love that champion. I am going to continue to putting my items, my rank up resources into him. I think he's easily got an argument for it. Check out that video if you want. Next is Guardian. Now, I will say for a variety of reasons, a lot of you are like, dude, how do you not have him in the tier above all on your tier list and all that stuff is, and I'm showing you this fight for why. This is one of my favorite counters for Enchantress, right? Enchantress is like, she can miss, she can evade, she can apparently nullify. I did not know that, literally, because the book is long. Her ability kit is long. I fall asleep while reading it. It is great for insomnia, but I've done this fight so many times that I actually had it finally happen, where one of her spells apparently will nullify. Who knew, right? Well, the Illuminati knew, and some people on my Discord server knew because they're really smart, but that's what happened. So you could have this, which you literally just saw in front of you. That just happened, which is amazing. He can do the bullseye. I've done the rank 4. I love him, but he does show his age a little bit, especially for the tech class, in that he can have his armor ups nullified. He needs that for the special too. That's why a lot of people aren't running him in the Gladiator circuit meta right now. I'm not even running him, and I've got a rank 4 high sig. And he relies on the shock having to stay. Having shock as your damage is not the thing anymore. I never fully bought into that to begin with, but the idea that like, well, they do shock damage, so therefore they suck. That doesn't apply here, okay? So don't hold it against him. It's just he shows his age a little bit, where he has a lot of these like qualifiers. He's a bit more high maintenance. You know those Canadians, they're very high maintenance people. Incredibly nice as well, and great maple syrup. So, but I do think he's got that argument. I've done the video on it. You get the sig going. He's got all these resistances, bleed, and just like energy. It's not just like one of the energies, but he's got it. Now on to Ironheart. If you're one of those players who's more like, that's cool, man, but I don't need that. Maybe BGs isn't the end all be all, which it doesn't have to be. I love BGs. That doesn't mean you've got to like it. This game's a lot bigger than that. I genuinely think if like Question's your thing, or Alliance War, it's Ironheart or Bastion. And I've showed that fight because on top of all the insane things she can do, you get to pick your damage source. It's not 3 of them like Scorpion. Kabam learned their lesson a little bit, but she's got 2 of them. And against a champion like Dust, where you want the Incinerate, but against, excuse me, you can apply the Incinerates against Dust, which helps you nullify or get rid of her sand particles or whatever the terms. It's not important that we get them right about Dust, because this is about Ironheart, that sort of thing. She's turning off Mist as well. You can just throw the SB1 over and over if maybe the fight's a little tricky, or you're not struggling a little bit, but I like to play her simply. And then you can go for the big SB2 cash out if you want. I've shown her taking out rank 4 Sentinels because she's got that sort of damage capability, the anti-miss, the whole thing. She is fantastic, right? My whole like the plasma thing was because I saw Jack-o'-lantern on the screen, and I'm showing this now. I know this was a rank 2 Mr. Sinister. This was only a rank 3 Jack, okay? So this is still kind of a punching down scenario, but I wanted you to see this. then remember, he can turn off those abilities that, like, it seems very tailored to Sinister, but when he well times blocks, he can turn off that whole, like, the damaging debuffs go on him sort of thing. This is on top of him having an immunity that was a hazard shift fight. He's great for a lot of these mutants, the modern mutants that are coming out. The reverse controls immunity. I've shown this against Jean Grey as well too. So he's also phenomenal, right? No real defensive threat. So you got to keep that in mind. Prowler. Now, you know, I was kind of making the jokes about the Canadians being high maintenance, but Prowler, I think, is one of the highest maintenance of them all, okay? And that's because to get a lot of, like, what I'm showing, and I talk about this, we don't hide the ball around here. When you want him to be a nuke, you do need him at the high sig. It just is, okay? Anyone who wants to argue that point, I'm like, you can argue it, but I don't know if I'm going to be listening and paying attention. And yeah, unawakened or at low sig, you can just do the loop multiple times. He's still great. But what you're literally seeing in front of you, like in your eye, right there, like this is happening, is because I've got him at the high sig. If I had had the 30 Furies there, he probably ends that fight immediately with the special too. Adamantium of the Illuminati and the Spreadsheet Wizards just does like insane. I've literally seen him live. We were recording the podcast. We had finished, or we were taking a break, I don't recall which, and he like was like, oh, I'm just gonna take the Rank 4 Sentinel boss for Tier 1 War, Masters, Ashanti or Vishanti here, like no big deal, and he just soloed it, like it was literally nothing. You can create the openings with the Falter. He's just an amazing champion. I do think he's like more of the high skill though, if you want that down. Some defensive threat, I place him on defense sometimes, but he's more of an attacker. Now, I also love Red Skull. Look at this. This is Jean Grey. I've done the video on how to fight Jean Grey. A lot of you, I think, now are like, oh, yeah, stuff gets complicated. Ish gets complicated. When you're like seeing that feeling delirious, the more she's gaining power, the longer the fight takes. You're like, do I have delirium? Do I not? It gets very difficult. But a champion like Red Skull, he's not immune to reverse controls like some of the other champions are, right? Like if you're like, dude, I need the reverse controls immunity, maybe that Ironheart, maybe that Jack-o'-lantern goes up in value for you. Now, Red Skull doesn't have that. But if you can get used to it, which I, for the most part, have, you can also control her power really well with your well-timed blocks. He also has the heal block, which does feel like it's being asked for a lot out of techs or nodes and those sorts of things. Not all of them have it. He does. He's actually got the heal block. And this simple style of play, I love him with the Hulkbuster Relic. We've talked about that in the Relic videos, but make sure you're utilizing that Relic if you can. You can see the heal block up there, right there. And then this, I love this loop. Like, he is like a throwback to a different era, right? If that's your time, if you're like, dude, I want to go back to when champion kits were like simple, not easy, but simple. I think Red Skull is your guy. Jack is your guy, because it's like, you don't need to know all the like levers and buttons and all that stuff just to play the champion. You don't need that. Speaking of simple, right? How have we not even mentioned Shocker yet? I think he's definitely got an argument. If you came to me and you're like, dude, I think Shocker's the best tech, I'd be like, I'd like to hear your case, and I don't think you're necessarily wrong. Right? We've got the non-crit, which is more and more being leaned into with the mutants that have been coming out into the game, asking us not to crit them. They're like, please don't crit us. To the point where we get to Betsy Braddock, where they're like, if you crit us, we will kill you. You're going to die. And so Shocker can't do that. And then also his ability to also sometimes just go out of his class, right? His class wheel in fights. This was this season's victory track. Okay, so it wasn't terribly hard, but it had some challenges to it. And this is going outside of the class wheel against a Gallon, who typically is someone you like need to get rid of those buffs, or you need to be knocking him down all the time. Well, Shocker, with his ability to just get to that special 2, can just end it. And that's the sort of like highs of Shocker. He also has a defensive threat, which is why I'm considering taking him to rank 4 very, very soon, is he's a dual threat. Even in offensive metas where he might not work, especially if you're spec'd into Limber, he becomes he's a tricky defender, okay? I just think he is. Unless you're like Barrowman or Cantona or like Legacy or Andrew the Rough, like you might struggle. I know I sometimes struggle against a Shocker. Now, I've also said, this is the most broken champion available as a 7-star, this being Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. Yes, over Human Torch, in my opinion, because look at this. You're like, dude, Nefarious is not a tough defender. You're right. He is not one of those, like, I'm going to kill you defenders. But if you fought him, this is the Gladiator Circuit. I'm currently in Mysterium somewhere. I found this matchup. It was a rank 4 SIG 200. And dude, because he places all those debuffs on you at that level, they're specced into inequity. And look what Spider-Man Stark Enhanced can do to this. And this is on top of all the stuff I showed you in the video. Look at the score. Look at the score. It's coming. 51,304. I played that relatively simply. He evaded the specials for me. I never got the debuffs on me. Inequity, I got one. Inequity couldn't even come into play. And that is a power gain meta, right? With power snack and the inexorable at like 50%. So basically they're like, what's part of what makes Serpent a dick? And they're like, let's take that and make it a meta. and Stark Enhanced Spider-Man made it an absolute joke. And so that's what I mean. He's the most broken, but I can't tell you he's the best. I just think he's broken. There's stuff where Kabam is like, but Spider-Man Stark Enhanced is going to ruin that. He's going to destroy that fight. And they're like, we just got to live with it. We're the ones that allowed him to be in the game. Thank you, Legacy. And yes, I mean literally thank you, Legacy, because the game is fun with broken champions. And so Kabam just has to live with it. And I love that. I find it fun. I think you do too. Hey, and then also, we've got to talk about future Ant-Man. So many people feel like he is definitely the best. A lot of the Illuminati love him. Some of them don't. But he's great in war, especially if you've got him in the high sig, right? And then, of course, very good in battlegrounds. The reason why I don't have a video of him is, like, honestly, I'm not very good with him. Or I'm better with the other champions. And so in my battlegrounds deck, I'm often going with the other ones. Or if it comes to questing or even in war. That being said, I do respect that he is potentially the, quote, best right now. I do personally think that that is going to be limited. And the reason why, as far as like how much longer that will last, is for him to definitively be the best is because the game continues to move to RPG-esque. And so right now he's able to go outside of the class wheel. He can take some of the big bads and mutant like Onslaught or those sorts of things. But I think as time continues to go on, that's going to be asked for less and less, meaning they're going to want more and more of those RPG counters. And that won't make him bad. That'll just make him even more, I think, clearly part of the group that I've done this video on. So if he is your favorite and you think he's the best, I definitely can't argue with one. And he's one where I might reluctantly agree. And the ones I just need to mention is the Maker. Check out Jaeger's channel. I've been shouting this out as much as I can because the Maker is awesome, okay? And Jaeger's been showing it to us. Thank you, Jaeger, MCoC, Illuminati, those guys. I think Zola, and I mean this, I've been saying this in videos for quite a long time now, is like if you've pulled a defender and you feel like they're good, like Yelena as well too, both Zola and Yelena, but this is a tech video, they do have some offensive uses. Grass has shown that. They can be cool, but their threat, their power level as a defender is only going to plateau or get worse over time as more answers come out or when we figure out how to fight them better and better. So I think Zola, I would not call him one of the best. I definitely don't, but for the way you're playing the game, he might be. And so you should consider that. And then last but not least, Sentinel. And I know all you Sentinel loyalists are like, I thumbed this down. You're very, very angry because I don't know what it is about the Sentinel crowd and anger, but it really goes together well. And I got to tell you, like, I just can't stand him. I can't stand playing him. He is slow. He is clunky. I also recognize he is incredibly powerful. And there's no way I was going to have a live server video to show you of him being great. So I have linked a bunch of videos in the description. Yes, from the Illuminati, because they are awesome at this game and they know what they're talking about. Go and check him out. I do think, especially if you're into battlegrounds or war, I think there is an argument for him to be considered the best. All jokes aside, I really do think that that is possible. And that's why they are the best and why I think anyone reasonable could very reasonably say, I think this champion is the best tech champion in the game, because depending on how you're playing it and what you want out of like your battlegrounds deck, your attack roster or your questing roster or whatever it is that Kabam puts into the game, or these defenders that these mutants have been coming, this champion may actually be the best and then be excellent in a variety of other spaces. I love the balance in this class. There's no just dominant, you've got to take them. They got like 3 and 4 trips to the buffet line of the abilities. And I love it because they're all still incredibly, incredibly powerful as well too. As usual, let me know what you think you got right. Let me know what you think you got wrong. And I actually want to know, who do you think is best? Go ahead and rank like the top 5. You know, I do enjoy reading the comments when I have time. I would love to see who you're like, dude, it is definitely this champion. And I think these are the other top 4. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.